I like this comment right here. It says, "Been free for 8 years and doing good." First of all, let me congratulate you on 8 years of being free. Salute with the diet green tea because I don't drink. But I know that's a hell of an accomplishment because it's hard to reestablish yourself after you've been away for a time. And then you go on to say, if you're in a hostile and animalistic environment, that's how you have to act or survive. And I want to say you are 100% correct in that, right? Because it's absolutely that kind of environment. I mean, think about it. Why do you think like the suicide rate is so high for correctional officers? And I want to say those are probably the ones that are just like reported, because how many loved ones are going to do whatever they can do to have it not reported as a suicide, right? Because if you check out, that's viewed as being weak, right? And your loved one would know this, and they're not gonna, especially if they got a family member working in there, they're not gonna let that happen. A lot of families just don't want that stigma associated to the family. But anyway, why do you think that is for correctional officers? Well, because it's that animalistic, hostile environment. Now, I got a lot of people on my page that have been locked up or have loved ones that are locked up, and let's be 100% real. Leave a comment. I'm curious to know, on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being not at all, or 10 being extremely, what was the intimidation factor that inmates or convicts did to new boots that came in? So new correctional officers, first day on the pod, what is the intimidation factor, right? Because I know it's there. It was there when you do your first walk around. People are trying to be intimidating and stuff, because you're going to have 1 to 2 thoughts. You like try to intimidate them, or the other thought is going to be, well, there's probably 3. Try to intimidate them. 1, try to get in extra nice and like be buddies with them and see what you can get out of them, or just indifferent, just another person doing their job. And but there's definitely going to be a percentage of people that would go out of their way to be, look big, posturing, making themselves look bigger, spread their shoulders out, stand up taller, makes, that kind of thing. That's absolutely going to be a thing. And there is no mental health counseling for correctional officers, and there's damn sure no mental health counseling for inmates. But remember, my perspective is that of a correctional officer, so there's not any for correctional officers. And if you're seen talking to a counselor or you're getting help, then people find out you'll be viewed as being weak, and they'll also wonder, what are you doing? Are you telling all my secrets? Are you telling everybody what we do? You know what I mean? And what we do. What do correctional officers do? Well, they do the same thing as what inmates do, right? They survive. For 12 hours a day, they're surviving. For 12 hours a day, 4 days out the week. They're just trying to survive. And when they get off work, that just festers inside of them, because it did me, right? It festers inside of them. The first day you might rest, but the next day you're thinking about, man, if so-and-so on that pod, if he fucks me off one more time or tries to jack the slide, I swear to God, it doesn't leave the back of your brain somewhere. And that's the most unhealthy way that it can be for a correctional officer. The people that can live a long life and not get divorced or lose their family or turn to drugs or alcohol or commit the way out, they are the ones that had good coping skills and somehow managed to find a way to deal with all of that and not fall prey to the manipulation, anger, and hate of the penitentiary. And, one person had made a comment on my post before, is there was a lot of love and brotherhood. And yes, I get that. Why do you think people join gangs, right? People join gangs for that brotherhood, that sense of camaraderie, so that fellowship they get from being with like-minded individuals. So yeah, there's going to be a sense of that, but there's a hell of a lot of negative stuff that come along with that, like the ones that maybe don't fit all the way in or get the camaraderie 100%, that become crash test dummies. And this really, it's like I started off a video talking about one thing and it kind of spills into 7 different other things, because that's how complex it is working in there. That's how nothing is just simple as it seems in there. The language, just the little manipulations and things like that, nothing is as simple as it may seem. And the bosses have to go to work in that stuff, and it takes a psychological toll, and it can take years for that to go away. It's just now, for me, like all these years later, it's just now going away to where, like, I'm not as concerned about getting that seat where I can see everybody that's coming in the restaurant if me and my wife go out to eat or something like that. It's just now to where, like, okay, this guy has a lot of inmate tattoos, but I'm not gonna look and sit here and look at these tattoos while we're standing in line to get groceries to see what gang this guy possibly could have been in, you know? So there's things that just stick with you. And you go on to say, you said, I don't live that way out here, and I believe you 100%. And I also believe it probably took an adjustment period too. I think it would probably take that for everywhere, but I don't want to speak for you. But I mean, for a lot of people, it's that adjustment period, like I was just talking about. And you said you didn't let it sour you, and congratulations, man, because a lot of people do let it sour them. A lot of people end up hating correctional officers. They're hating all this. But the fact of the matter is, I don't understand, and I still probably will never understand the idea of hating a person because of the profession that they chose. You know, there's a lot of people that need a lot of training, and they need help and resources to do their job, right? They're understaffed, and they need resources and help to do their job. And, yeah, they need resources to do their job, and the way that they do their job is just survival, the best that they can do with what they have, depending on their personality types, their idiosyncrasies that make them uniquely them, and how they can somehow manage the trauma and the PTSD. And tomorrow, I promise, like, I am going to find time to do an entire video, probably a couple, on PTSD and the physiological changes that actually occur in the brain when a person suffers from PTSD or CPTSD. And I'm going to really dive into that because it will kind of demonstrate and show people why people act and behave the way that they act. But anyway, congratulations, good job. I'm glad it didn't let you sour you. I'm glad you're not that way on the outside. I wish you the best, most productive life that you could possibly have. And again, like, cheers with my team, man. Y'all have a good night. I'll holler at you tomorrow.